Okay, and I'm gonna pass it over to you. Okay. All right, cool. So you are a co-host there, sir. Stage is all yours if you're ready. Tamara, can you hear? Can you hear me?
Can you see me?
Yeah. Sound low? Anybody else having any volume? Can y'all hear me okay?
You said I sound low?
No, I think she was saying I was. Okay. So I think we're good. Everybody's good. All right, go ahead.
Hey, how's everybody doing, family? Thanks, y'all.
Good, good.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I wanted to, I just want to give, I guess, just, I'm honored, always honored to, be able to share with the team. And, I just want to give my 2 cents. And I don't want this, call to just be me talking because, I do see, in the, in the Telegram, man, it seems to me like we all killing it. It seems to me like we all just, doing a fantastic job. So, I'm gonna add, just I guess add the little bit that I have to add, just talking about Bitcoin, because I know some people are a little bit, I don't want to say scared to trade, but just just really just don't know how or don't think they could or whatever the case may be. And the same with US30. So, but there, and I do see it right in the Telegram. There's a lot of us, man, that we trade in it, and we're having phenomenal results. And I'm honestly curious to know, what we doing out there. You know what I'm saying? That can even improve on what I'm gonna share with you today. So, man, I would love for you guys to not be silent, to just, really just jump in there. You know what I'm saying? If you see something that I don't see, or if you I don't want to make the class too advanced because I do know we have some new people out there. But when you're talking about trading United States 30, S&P 500, I am going to share the educators today that teach on S&P 500, US 30. And that's pretty much all they trade, right? And they basically taught me how to, basically maneuver through these indices and cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And I think we'll be surprised at how similar they are to just regular pairs. You know what I'm saying? They're not that much different. There are some things that we do just a little bit different. That's just kind of what I want to talk about today. So what you guys think? What is it? Maybe we start with US 30 first, because that's a little bit more complex than Bitcoin. What do y'all think?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
All right. Fabulous, man. Fabulous. All right. Now, all right, now listen, we all should know, that US 30 is just it's the indices, right? So we're talking about, we're talking about the top 30 stocks here in the United States. I just been recently introduced to by a good brother of mine who's also out there killing it, David Bankston. He just introduced me to the I think it's called the French 40, right? So I've been experimenting with that. That's their top stocks, and these indices, man. They can be phenomenal when you win it, right? But we know that you can lose just as big as you can win, right? So the goal always, man, ultimately is to just be able to predict this market and capitalize on it every single time, or every time we can, right? So, and I'm just going to share with you the way that I do it today. You know what I'm saying? The way that I like to trade US 30. I did learn pieces of this strategy from a woman who is in our Go Live. Her name is Kimberly Torres. All right. Kimberly Torres, you can find on Instagram. She is an IM educator, IM mastery educator. She is like top 5, not too far from Dr. Kathy somewhere. When you go up there, you can see her. She's in advanced Forex. So I learned pieces from just trying to give you just the educators that kind of help me stumble on where I'm at right now. I've learned pieces from Christopher Derrick. He is also in advanced Forex. You can also find him in Gold Cup. And he pretty much taught me how to track price. And that was essential because when I trade US30, I trade from zone to zone. All right. So those are the two educators that I use, that help me with. Now, Christopher Derrick don't trade US30. I mean, not on his Go Live anyway, but but just understanding, price action, he really had an impact, in my life. You know what I'm saying? So how I trade US30, right? First of all, a lot of times, man, we like to zoom in like this, right? To put our support, resistance, and mark our charts up. Not with this, right? We bring it out on the 4 hour. And on the 4 hour, there's a few things I like to do. And before I even throw a line or mark anything up, because we're talking about top start, we're talking about an indice, right? We can't just go to Forex Factory and look at, I can't go to Forex Factory and look at, what the United States news is doing today, even though that's what I do. But we take it a step further, right? We go to Bloomberg.com, right? And when you first go to Bloomberg, I have to be honest, man, it's not going to be something that, if you've never been up there before, you may not understand the language. But I encourage us all to just study Bloomberg, especially if we're going to be messing with S&P 500, because when I'm trading, what I'm showing you on US30 today, I use for S&P 500, I use for Nas 100 and US30. I do a little bit different with Bitcoin. It's a lot smoother, but I'm on the news, I'm on Bloomberg, and I'm going to read through it as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to find the Dow, I'm going to find the Downs, I'm going to find S&P. And it's very important that we do that, because you can't trade against it. See, because some of us are momentum traders, right? Where we like to go off of, what momentum might say. And if you ever traded US30, you will understand that, fake outs with this thing could be devastating. I want to say what it's about, and I'm just going to speak from experience. From about 3 weeks ago, with this thing here, I was trailing a about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was trailing a stop loss, right? That's pretty much how I move with it. I trail my stop losses, and I like to have stop profits in place so that I can capitalize on them on the trade as much as possible. Well, I made a mistake with that, right? And I went in and erased the stop loss, went back to my phone and never put a stop loss in, right? And knocked my account down $4,000, right? And it happened in a matter of maybe about an hour. You know what I'm saying? It just was an hour mistake. It could be very rewarding and unforgiving. So we watch the news, right? And we don't go against it. So if momentum is saying that it's a sell, but when you go to Bloomberg, right, and you're going to see it's going to say Dow Jones, or it's going to say S&P 500, whichever one you're trading. And if that thing is green, then you'll know, right? Hey, listen, don't go against it. I don't care what momentum say, right? Don't do it. And another thing, just to kind of stress how important news is with it, right? It could be phenomenal. Like one of the tricks that I like, right? This happens in the morning for us, like around 9, 8 o'clock sometimes. If you see high impact news, let's say, and I'm just giving you little tips, right? Before we even get into it. Let's say you get, let's say we have high impact news for the United States. All right, you scoot over to to Bloomberg, right, and you see that it's blue, right? If you're swift enough, right, and you know, and you're skilled, I encourage us all to practice, and you're skilled enough, you know, you can even catch the news. Like you'll know, you have a good idea, you know, which way this thing is going to go. And I think this is one of the only pairs that really do that. You know what I'm saying? Where you can look at the Dow Jones, see that it's up or see that it's down, you know, 0.02%, and then kind of have an idea like, all right, so this thing is down. I got high impact news coming out, and you can kind of gear your trade up for the, you know, and get in position and take it. I encourage us, you know, to practice and see what I'm talking about. You know, really study Bloomberg and go to Bloomberg before we trade this United States 30. Okay. So now how I do it, like I said, I go from zone to zone, but there's a few things that I do right before. There's a few things I do right before. And that's I check confluence, right? I learned confluence, time confluence from Tasha Dyer when we was learning the BYOB. And what I do is I use confluence with the cloud. It's a simple system. The Ikimoku cloud. I don't change the parameters on my Ikimoku cloud though. I leave my parameters. The default settings that they come with. I'm on Traders View right now. If you know, if you're doing this on the vibrata, it's not a bad thing. You know, just the default settings is 9, 26, 52, and 26. It's gonna all Ikimoku clouds going to come with that default. And when I check confluence, right, this is all I check for. I check on the 4 hour, right, and I make sure when I see that it's underneath the cloud, I check and see if my 4 hours underneath the cloud. I check and I make sure. Now we see that it's not confluent, but I check and make sure that my 1 hour is underneath the cloud, and then my 15 minutes. So we're gonna have to play pretend in order for me to, you know, mark this thing up. We're gonna pretend that that my 4 hour is matter of fact, let me see. I might be able to. Where's my S&P at?
Hey, Najee, somebody asked, what is confluence? Can you define that?
Well, confluence is just when, confluence is when, you know, you have, I'm making sure that my time frames are just all together, basically. I want to see my time frames just kind of in sync with each other, you know? See, when we have, like, let's say, for example, right, we have the 4 hour under here, right? But then we have the 1 hour, which is basically, you know, in fours. If you notice, 15, 1 hour, just 4 hour confluence, just making sure that they're all just in sync with each other. Case in point, the reason I use the cloud, and this is honestly the only real reason that I use it. One thing is awesome, but I have to make sure that I'm with the trend on before I take, you know, this is how I trade every pair. And I only trade a little bit different, basically on the entries. That's it. You know what I'm saying? When I'm entering a trade and how I execute the trade, I guess I should say. That's the only difference that I do. So when I'm making sure that, like right now, right? Case in point. Let's just I don't know. Let's take it from. Let's just take it from here.
So Najee, just to clarify, because somebody was saying in the chat that your confluence, you're just making sure that at least on the 15, 1 hour and 4 hour, that they're all kind of like under the cloud if you're looking for a sell for your entry.
Absolutely right. That's pretty much all I'm looking for.
Does that need to be on all time frames or just those three?
Just those three. Just
Okay.
those 4 hour, just consistently. I'm sorry, times 4 consistently. So 15 times 4 is 1 hour. Times 4 is 4 hours. Right.
Thank you.
So like I know that, you know, just looking at it on the 1 hour, right? My basically my trend is reversed, right? So I mean, when you're just looking at it like this, it looks like, well, my trend has just been broken. You know what I'm saying? But when you get into those bigger time frames, like this is not even, I wouldn't even, yeah. But that's basically all we're doing, right? I'm just making sure, and I know, I'm sorry, I took that off too soon, but I know that once it breaks through the cloud or underneath the cloud, especially when we catch them like this, looking like this on a 4 hour time frame, I kind of have understanding that, my trend has just been reversed or fully reversed now. I don't check the day chart. When you go to Bloomberg and you look and see what if Bloomberg is showing it being a bear or bull, that is basically you checking the day. That's basically what it is, right? We don't go against it. So we just, again, just to clarify, above or below on the 1 hour, simple, 15-minute and 4 hour. So with the 4 hour looking this way, this is not even a trade that I would be considering. I wouldn't be looking at it right now. I'll be waiting for this 4 hour to cross above this Ichimoku cloud and make the break. I would trade it, if it was just, I'm not waiting for a certain amount of candles or anything like that. I'm looking for price on the 1 hour and I'm looking to trap it. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So what we're gonna do is this, right? We have to, like I said, we have to play pretend. We're gonna pretend that this is like this on a 4 hour. And this is just to make things make sense. You know what I mean? That's all it is. And all right. So if this is the confirmation, this is my first technical analysis. This is the first confirmation I need as far as my technical analysis, right? So I need to see all of these time frames make sense, above or below the cloud. The next thing I do, right, guys, is simple. I just I go ahead, I remove my cloud, right? I drop down to the 1 hour. I drop to the 1 hour, right? And let me show you what I'm looking for. Come out, I zoom out. This is so simple. And I'm telling you, I take and I find where price has touched twice, because we know when price responds there at least 2 times, we have a support and we have a resistance. I mean, it's just that simple. I take wicks into consideration. Why? Because they have value. There was some type of money down there or some type of number down there that added value. Now I'm not zoning out the entire wick though. You know what I'm saying? A little thinner. That's it. That's all I'm doing, right? I see that price has come here before. I see that it consolidated a little bit right here. I see that it came up and it retested this neighborhood. I see that it retested it again. I see that it's responding to it again. That's more than 2 times, right? I have a neighborhood now where price likes to respond. It is just that simple, right? I'm above the cloud. Now this is where things get a little bit different now, right? I do the same thing for the bottom. I find where it touches at least 2 times, where it likes to respond. It's never going to be perfect, you know. You can say, well, I could put it here or you could put it here. The truth is this, man. We need to find the neighborhood that price likes to respond to. It's not necessary. It's never going to be perfect. So, and I think that a lot of times when we're marking up these charts and we're looking at trying to find support and resistance, trying to see where it's at, I think a lot of times, guys, I think we get too caught up in having the perfect line. You know what I'm saying? And I know for a while that kind of like, you know, me and my wife, man, we was like arguing over it. Like, no, it should go here, it should go here. The truth is this, price is going to respond in this neighborhood. And when it breaks out of it, just like this long engulfing candle did, broke out of this neighborhood area and it shot up, right? So we know that price is going to respond in this neighborhood. We're not going to fight about, you know, how perfect the line should be. This is why when you go and you watch Christopher Derrick, he's going to make a zone, right? He's going to make a bubble, and it's going to be the area where it could be, right? That's the only thing I'm not doing right now is making a bubble. So we know that price wants to respond here. We know that price likes to come back there. We're just going to wait for price to break the neighborhood. And this is kind of where it gets really cool, right? So what I'm looking for, so I have price above on all my time frames. On the 1 hour, right? I want to see price come above here, right? And with US30, I am a retest trader, right? I will wait for a retest, but not with US30, not with Nas 100, and not with Bitcoin. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you look, right, when these things, when they break out, of these neighborhoods, guys, they don't. I mean, I'm not saying that you never get a retest, right? But when they come up out of these neighborhoods, they be running. And Bitcoin is another one. They break out and they just haul tail. They just go right to the next place of support and resistance. They just drop. You know what I'm saying? So no, honestly, I'm not waiting for a retest with United States 30. With US30, I'm a breakout trader, right? So I will wait for this to break. And once I see it break on the 1 hour, as simple as this, I just drop down to the 15-minute and I wait for that candle to just close up there. If the candle don't close into up here, then it just is what it is, right? I'll decide if I'm gonna take that trade. If something like this happens, I probably would wait for a retest, but I'm not gonna get it as soon as it's breaking out, right? I'm gonna wait for that trade to break out. I'm gonna wait for it to break out and then close above here, above support and resistance. And I'm gonna wait for it to give me another bull. That's all I need. I'm not waiting a whole bunch of candles. I'm just waiting for it to close and give me a bull. And if we were looking at a sell right now, it'd just be the same thing. Just, you know, in the bear market. That's it. I know it seems a little simple, right? We understand that, the reason let me tell you something. If this happens, right? If this happens and it breaks out. Now, when you go and watch Kimberly, and I'm giving you references because I want you guys to really go watch. If you haven't been introduced to Kimberly Torres and you want to trade the United States 30, then I strongly encourage that you go and watch her, man. Because she goes so deep into detail about, what the news mean and, certain terms that they use is just kind of dead giveaways as to which way the market is going to go, right? So these things are critical. And I'm still a baby at this and I'm still learning it, but I just paid for the Bloomberg subscription now, right? So, and at first it was boring. It's just starting to get interesting, but just stick it through. But like I was saying, for me to backtrack.
Hey, Najee, let me
yeah,
because I want to make sure, guys. First of all, if you got a question, please, you can unmute yourself. Najee doesn't mind. I know that's how we normally do that, because while he's teaching, he can't really see the chat. So it's just easier if you just kind of break in and ask a question. So a couple of things that came across is, if they are not all in sync, your time frames, if you're 15, 1 hour, 4 hours not in sync, do you still take the trade or not? That was one question. And then what time of day do you normally trade using this method, are the two questions. And Kimberly Torres is the name of the I am educator. Kimberly Torres.
No. So let me show you what I do if they're not all in sync. But let me just answer this one thing. I'm gonna keep that. Just hold on to that. If this thing breaks and goes the opposite direction, toward like if I'm looking at all three and they're above and this thing breaks going toward, when you watch Kimberly Torres, she doesn't use the cloud, right? So, and she's a pure breakout trader. So she's going to be taking it down. She's going to be taking it up. She doesn't care what the trend is, right? This is what I do. I will not take this trade. I won't do it. I won't go against it, because I understand that I have waves being made on a different time frame, right? So I make sure that they all in sync. And when I'm marking up and I'm doing all of my when I'm doing all of my edits, and I'm taking everything into consideration on the 1 hour, though, that's the time frame that I'm trading off of. And I do that because if I get stuck in this trade, or if I get faked out somehow, what I have on my side, I still have the trend reversal on my side, right? Or I'm still with the trend, right? The trend is your friend. I'm still with it. I know that, for the most part, I know that, see, this is not one, but for the most part, when I'm looking at it, I know that on looking at fibs, I know I'm somewhere about a 7. I know that somewhere about a 7, my trend has already reversed. So I'm just basically saying, that's all I'm saying with this. But yeah, so if like, case in point, this is not lining up with my 4 hour. To answer your question, let me just delete everything. Let me show you what I would do. This is really what I do. And this is where things get, this is what I do, right? So I'm like, all right, I know I trade US30. I love trading US30, right? So what I do is I say, all right, how far am I away? Come right here. I put a line, basically just a horizontal line above the Ichimoku cloud. And I right click, come right here, add alert. Only once. I got all my emails and everything set up, and I just create the alert, and you'll see it populate. Where is it at? Yeah, there you go. You see it? You'll see it populate, and I know when price gets here. That, I mean, and guess what, man? If it never happened, and it pushes back down on the 1 hour to 15 minute, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm in it for, I'm trapping it, right? I'm trapping price. I'm finding my support. In this case, I'm finding my support zones, and I'm taking it down. However, if this 4 hour managed to make it through here, I'm going to know as soon as it do, right? I'm going to know that this thing broke through the cloud. I'm going to find this support. I'm already at it. And when the thing breaks through, I'm going to know that I could take it to this next zone. It's just that simple. It's not, it's just not that hard. You just wait for it to close and go through it. And I think the next question, Sean, you said it was time frames. I have had more luck. Now, I know that a lot of people like to trade US30 at 9 o'clock. I've done phenomenal around that time, but the way my schedule is, I'm up in the morning for whatever reason, right? I like this London thing, right? So I'm like somewhere between 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I know I'm not trading US30, pretty much after 9 o'clock though, like 10 o'clock. I'm really not messing with it. I mean, there's no real reason. I think that for the most part, I probably do what I'm going to do with it in those early morning hours. And, I don't typically get back into trades after I'm already, especially if I already hit profit, right? I'm just not going to do it. I'm really careful with this. Really careful with this industry. You know what I'm saying? Any questions? And any inputs, man? Because I know that some of y'all out there, you know, y'all be, you know, I've seen some big numbers, man. I want to know I want to know what y'all doing.
Hey,
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, go ahead.
What's going on?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? So just to kind of recap, what you say is pretty much you'll start with the cloud and you keep the cloud as the regular settings, and you'll start on the 4-hour time frame with that. And basically, only thing you're looking for with that cloud is confluence to make sure that the buy candles are above the cloud or the sell candles are below the cloud for a buy or for a sell. And if so, then you'll proceed forward to the next step, which is to the 1-hour chart, correct?
Correct.
Okay, when you get to the 1-hour chart, you're looking for like 2 or 3 like touches from like zone to zone. You'll mark it up zone to zone. You're looking for 2 to 3 touches like in the buy zone and 2 to 3 touches in the sell zone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and if that is in sync, then you will probably proceed forward with the trade. Now, are you setting buy stops, sell stops, or this is just you wait till price get into that X zone and just go market execution?
That's a good question. I'm only market execution, but I'm gonna show you how and what I mean. All right, we know that this is support and resistance, right? We had a touch here.
All right.
And I'm gonna show you what I mean. This is the powerful part right here. We had a touch here, one here, one. I mean, we had enough touches, right? I'll tell you what I would do. I put my I make that I give it some space, right? I let that zone breathe. Like I'm not putting it all the way on top of the candle like this. I'm giving it some space. I'm letting it breathe. This is all I do, love. I right click, I add an alert. Only once. Boom. When price gets here, I'm gonna know about it. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it'll come up here and it'll touch and it won't break through and it would continue to consolidate. And I don't mind because whenever it's ready to come up here, I'm gonna be ready. Whenever it breaks through, I'm gonna see it close and then I'm gonna be in it. I'm gonna be in this thing for a buy to the next place of resistance. That's just that.
Okay, so basically you just looking, when you set that zone, you're looking for it to break that zone, but you're not looking for a retest. You're just looking for it to break and then you're into on that next candle.
That's right. I'm not with US30, I'm not if I get a retest, right? Like let's say take this for example right here. From right here to that was a lot of points, but I got there. That was like 300. Wow. So that's a lot of points. But let's say for whatever reason, I didn't take profit between this here, right? And I caught a retest right here. If I see this thing come up and retest this zone, and I got all of these because we have to understand that these, a lot of these breakout candles, a lot of times, they be engulfing. You know what I'm saying? They be really pushing through. Excuse me. If I come up here and I see this thing get a retest and I haven't taken profit, when I get another, let's say in this case, I got another bear candle, I'm taking another entry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting another entry out of it.
Okay. Now, question, is that regular candles or that's the Fibonacci candles?
Oh, I think these are Fibonacci. No, these are regular price action candles.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't trade momentum with US30 because like I said, I guess it's just a preference. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not.
No, I got you. I probably ain't gonna do it either.
Hey, Najee, I got a quick question. Can you explain to me real quick, because I'm very novice with this. It's not pips, it's points. How do you calculate, because it moves so fast, so how do you understand that part?
Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Najee, I think I lost you. Najee, we lost your audio. Cool. Vanessa, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Let's make sure we didn't lose. It's raining pretty hard here in Atlanta, guys. So hopefully you didn't get to drop off there. Okay. Cool. Let's check. Najee, I can see you and we got your screen, just don't have you audio wise. All right, so, well, look, in the meantime, while he's working that out, I know some other people trade US30. Can they explain to me how the whole points versus pips work?
Yeah, this is William Graham. I could tell you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, everyone calls me Oscar.
Hey,
Yeah, but the way that you would convert the points to pips trading the indices is that each point that the indices moves is worth 10 pips.
Ah.
So if you get a 10-point move on US30, whether it be up or down, you're either going to be up 100 pips or down 100 pips.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Najee. Go ahead.
No, you good.
Okay. Najee, is that you?
Yep, I'm back.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said what about now? You said we were talking about pips.
Points to pips
Points.
and stuff, and Oscar kind of answered that for me, that you take for each point is equivalent to 10 pips.
Yeah. And another thing, you know what's funny? Because especially when you start watching Bloomberg and stuff like that, man, what's gonna happen is they're gonna be talking in points, so it can really confuse you. But yeah, like man, for every 1 point is 10 pips. And one thing I just want to bring to light, like US30, right? It hit like an all-time. I had to move to a monthly to show you this, but it hit like an all-time high, right? Like it was all the way up here. If that ever happened, I want y'all to understand that they move. Like, so let's say it break a high, and let's say it, see how it closed flat up here. Let's say it broke this high and it closed up there, and it was or right here, and it was flat, and you don't really have a support and resistance to take it to, right? So what you do is you just take it 50 points. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of that's basically how the banks would move. They just move, which for us would be 500 pips. So you could take it 50 points at a time. If you ever got into a situation where you just didn't have a support or resistance to link this thing to, and you wanted to take the trade. But that's kind of a cool hack. But yeah, it's not that hard to calculate the pips or the points for US30. It's really just let's see if I make sure I got this right. Well, I don't want to give any false information. But hold on. I calculate them, and I use the two numbers before the decimal point. So it's usually these two, like let's say that number is 26828. I find myself using these two numbers all the time. That's when I'm not because for the most of the time, like I said, I'm really not, calculating how many pips or how many points they are. I'm really just looking at, all right, boom, I got, well, we know this is 1 point, but it's right. I'm just taking this thing 10%. And for the most part, usually 9 times out of 10, man, that usually gives me my support and resistance, right? That's all I'm looking for. It's just the next zone to take it to. I'm not going for the highest position either, or the highest place. I'm just next zone. But any more questions on US30? Because I know this was a big topic. It's not that scary to trade. It's not that hard to trade. You could use a 0.01. I have done it. I still sometimes use a 0.01 for US30. All right. Any more questions on the United States 30? I trade the NAS 100 same way. If you look at it, you'll see that they're they look similar. A lot of times they run together. Like some pairs do that. Like that look like US30, right? But trade NAS. I trade the NAS the same way. Y'all with me still? Did I lose you again?
No, you good. We got you.
All right. So I guess we got no questions. That's how I trade US30. I mean, that's for the most part the only thing I do different.
This is Oscar again. I got a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned about how you identify your entries by tracking price. I don't think you really elaborated on what your process in doing that is.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go back. Right. So
and I just like to say I don't know how many traders are on the call tonight that are experienced traders, but definitely I have to just reiterate, you really want to approach the US30 with caution. If you haven't really have a lot of experience trading, you probably definitely want to use a demo account to try to get the feel of this thing, because it's a bad boy. And he would definitely just take your money and run with you in the opposite direction. I can really just urge. I mean, it could definitely be a profitable venture to tackle, but if you don't know what you're doing, you could really hurt yourself at the same time.
Okay, appreciate that.
yeah, you're right, Oscar. Man, listen. The truth is this, right? If we're out there, right, and we have, if we have any, new traders, like I said, I'm still a baby myself. I've only been doing this for about a year. If we have any new traders out there, we need to make sure that we're in our demo account, just I stayed in my demo account for about 6 months, right? Just learning. Man, the truth is this: these educators that I'm introducing you to, Kimberly Torres, I encourage everybody to, take trades with Crypto Picasso. I got the elite package. You know what I'm saying? So I tried everything. And I worked with almost every educator to see, what was going to work best for me. Right. Man, the truth is this: these are advanced educators, right? And they have no problem telling you, stick with, your IM Mastery Academy until, you learn as much as you can before you go live. Like I've been through my IM Mastery Academy 4 times before I moved into my live account. I mean, some people might call it excessive. Well, I never blew an account. So I'm just saying that, yes, this is advanced. Yes, you shouldn't. Yes, you do need to practice it. What normally would do, this is how I trade typically, man, just regular pairs and everything. But the only thing that I do different is that I would wait for a retest in that neighborhood for a regular Forex pair. So when I find resistance or I find support, let's say I'm right now I'm looking for a buy with with US30, right? I would wait for a retest to come back. If I was, let's say, if it was a regular pair, I don't know, GJ, right? You know, I will wait for it, and then I would take the trade, right? I won't trade just to break out. I am checking Bloomberg for US30. I'm not necessarily checking Bloomberg for, you know, GJ. You know, so just a little, they're small variations, man. They're little, you know, they're little things, but to me they mean the most. What I'm trying to do, man, I'm trying to give guys, just because when I first got over here, it's like everybody was scared of US30 because, you know, it could take all your money, which is true, right? True. But man, if we learn this thing like we learn everything else, you know, EU or whatever we learn, man, and we sit back and we study this, you know, I feel like, not saying that those pairs can't make you $1 million, right? I grew my account without US30. I'm really just getting involved in it, but I you know, just to kind of remove the mystery behind it, you know, I don't think that we need to be so scared of it, you know, to the point that we won't even try it or try to practice it. And that's kind of what I want to bring to light, man. That's all.
Yeah. No need to be scared of it. You just need to respect it. That's all I'm saying.
Najee,
Huh?
I wanted to share something with the group.
Please
Last year, 2019, for the entire year, Dr. Kathy and Kimberly Torres, they were having several workshops all over the state. I mean, and they were charging a price of $300 for 2 days.
Woo.
But people are really making money. Yes, I took a few classes with Kimberly, and I still trade with Dr. Kathy. And I want everybody to know that Dr. Kathy is on at 5 a.m. in the morning, because last week I blew $5,000 in 2 days with being greedy on US30. But I understand US30, and it's a very great and profitable stock. So this is our major stock. So I tell people, if you know how and you have guidance, you know, make sure you have $500 in your account.
Yeah.
Or a little under, the least 3 something. But it can make you money. It can make you good money.
This
And
Sean
every
right here.
morning, Dr. Kathy trades it
You,
on the
you
web
mentioned,
analyzer.
you mentioned something about you being greedy. And what do you mean by that? Were you making money and you just stayed in and you start losing money?
No, what I did, I always follow my intuition is always strong. When it tells me stop, I have to stop. But when my mind tells me, okay, go back in, it's doing good. And, you know, I would make what I need to make, and I would make like sometimes 2 times on the same trade. But then sometimes when I go back in, it starts to go in drawdown and fake out. And that's where I end up in trouble, because, you know, it's so, I should say, it moves rapidly. And you can go from 8 cents to 200 in one split of a second.
Okay.
And it will wipe your account out.
Yep.
So is it a safe bet to say if you set a certain amount, because I'm still new, I'm still learning everything, so I'm taking all this in. If you set a certain amount and you say, okay, I made X amount of money, is it good to just get out and stay out? Or has there been times where you didn't go again and make more money?
It have times, you know, I heard you said that you make money early in the morning at 9 o'clock, but from the end of January to now, US30 has been moving all hours of the day. Sometime at 4 o'clock, I have gotten $300 one afternoon with US30, and it was at 4 o'clock. And that was on the 7th and 8th of February, the 7th. I remember my times because, you know, when you make that kind of money in a second, you can't forget it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. Yeah. I look at I look at my percentages, right? Like you know, I set a goal. You know, they say you're supposed to have a goal, right? All of the master educators say get your goal, and then, you know, just stick to it. That helps you from being greedy. So, you know, I would set a percentage goal, right? So I'll say, well, I have an $18,000 account. You know, I want to do, let's say I want to do 10% a day, right? So I'll be
Right.
I'll be in, let's say US30, right? I'll be in US30, and it moves so fast that, you know, I'll be up, you know, 9%. You know, you just kind of want to keep riding it because, you know, you won, but it's like, well, your goal was this, right? And sometimes it can be hard to even close that trade out, you know, with that profit.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you know it's going to keep riding. And that's kind of where that greed effect and that fear of missing out step in. And you just got to have self-control and, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is Taya. I found that US30 like moves, that first bell at 9:30 Eastern, you get that initial push maybe 10 minutes after that, and it'll, you know, that's when it'll show you where it's going for the day. And then I try to be out by like 10:30 Eastern at the latest, because then, you know, with London market closing and with traders going to lunch, then it starts pulling back real far. Like I ended up getting caught in a 700-point pullback one day last week, and that was no fun, just sitting around waiting for that to come back. And then I might look at it again around like 1:30 Eastern in the afternoon when the traders come back from lunch. Then it starts moving again, and it'll be moving until like, you know, 4:30 or so, like you said before.
Yeah.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey.
Do you have how many I guess pips or points you normally go for? I know US30 moving points, but for me, I measure it out with pips, because if you're going for 30 pips, that's 300 points. You know, if you're going for 50 pips, that's 500 points. So it's still, you know, I'm so trained on pips, but it's similar to me. But even though I know it moving points, so when you set your trades, like, do you have a particular amount of pips that you're going for when you're analyzing and set your trades, or it's just different on a day-by-day setup?
Yeah, it's gonna be different from just day by day because, like I said, I you know, I'm going from zone to zone. You know, it could be 200 points, or it could be only 10 points, right? So all I'm looking for is just the next neighborhood that it may consolidate or bounce off. That's all I'm looking for. You know, I'll be honest, man. A lot of times, you know, I'm making sure that it's going to be enough to clear my spread. Especially, that's another reason why I kind of stay away from like the 9 o'clock time, because I know that the spread is higher during that time, right when that news is about to come out and stuff like that. You know, and I really don't want to have to deal with that spread, because we know that US30 spreads are higher regardless, right? But it's just a little bit higher then. So, you know, I'm making sure that, you know, I got enough in there just to cover my, you know, my spread. But you know, sometimes I've taken 10 points, whatever, it's 100 pips. You know what I mean? I'm in and I'm out, right? We'll just say I'm scalping it, right? Like if we had, like, which one was it? I think we all caught one last week, and it was crazy because the next point, I can't remember where it was, but I erased all my markets. But it was so far away from, you know, it was so far away from the next place of support. Man, it was just like, it was almost scary to take it. You know what I mean? So, but I just trailed it.
And one more thing, are you looking for the highest high and the highest low when you're marking them for zone to zone? Like, I guess looking back a little to kind of determine, you know, where it's getting ready to go. Is that the same thing as looking for the highest high and the lowest low? It may be the same. I'm just using different verbs right now.
Oh, well, the only time I'm looking at, you know, we talk about highest high. The only time I'm looking at the trend is to make sure that it's either reversing or, you know, had already reversed or I'm with the trend. That's the only time I'm looking at the lowest place and you know, the highest. But is that what you're asking me or no?
No, Najee, I think she might be asking more about support and resistance levels and being
Okay.
able to set take profit based on support and resistance levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Easiest way, and that, you know, the thing that helped me out, my wife just put me there. The easiest way is to look back and then just find where price consolidated. And once you find where price consolidated, you can pretty much backtrack and see where it bounced off of, what neighborhood it bounced. And you can pretty much trap it any way you want to. It's just, you know, it broke through here, bounced, then long engulfing candle broke through. Just where it bounced at. Like, we know that it struggled right here. You know, we know that it struggled right here. You know, that's pretty much it.
Hey, Naj, I'd like to share something else with the group.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been really doing a lot of strategy testing with US30, and one thing that I've come across right now that has really been working, and you can maybe check it out for yourself, is using the Fibonacci levels, because it's so volatile and it loves to change direction so much. I seem to be batting almost 1,000% with tracking its retracements, whether it's an upward retracement or downward retracement. It loves to go to the 50 to 618 zone, and it likes to reverse there. And the farther out in the time frames that you go, like if you take a look right now at the 4-hour chart, in terms of where it's priced at, it looks like it might be on its way back to the 5618 based on the zone to zone that I'm using to measure right now. And we're talking about maybe at a resistance level somewhere around the 29,448 level, and the support zone, which was basically the low of the week, down by around 24,699. So it's right above the 382 right now. It's approaching, like I said, it looks like it may just hit that 50 to 618 period. And then I'm going to be looking for an engulfing bear reversal back down in the opposite direction. And once I get that confirmation, I'll be looking for an entry at that point.
Oh man, I love you, bro. We need to we need to talk more.
And I'm telling you, that's been hitting like clockwork, and that's working on all time frames. It's just that the farther out the time frame is, the more secure and less risk that you're dealing with. I'm catching, you know, reversals off of the 1 minute chart on in the same zone area, but those can change at any time. So I mean, those are just like I'm just sniping and scalping this to death. You know, and I don't need to be in there long because I'm catching, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 700 pips a pop, and just and coming in and I'm out running away with the cash.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna reach out to you, man. We're gonna go over that more in detail. So basically, where I'm looking at right now, basically you're saying that, all right, so hold on, let me just so you're saying like right here in like these neighborhoods is where you see price
reversing. Yeah, reversing from the So it'll hit that area on a retracement move, and then at a certain point you're gonna see a candle that reverses that move and then head back in the original trend. And on the 4 hour, that's a downward trend. I mean, it's been selling off like crazy, but you know, it's math. It's all math, you know, and we gotta trust the math, and it's working. I can tell you it's working.
All right. Yeah, we need to do that. We need to look more into that.
Yeah, check it out, man. You'll definitely be able to see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But you know, like the Fibonacci is just unbelievable. You know, and that's why I urge everybody on the calls, learn the Fibonacci's, because trading this thing, you need every weapon you can pull out the arsenal, and that thing is a huge weapon.
Yeah, man, I agree with you on that, man. I really feel like everyone should learn the Fibonacci. And, you know, eventually, man, what happens is I noticed that, you know, you'll start seeing the fib levels without even putting the fib on there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's been happening lately. That's pretty cool. But listen, any more input? I mean, input questions, you know, on just US30, and so that we all could get confident enough to take this in our demo account at least. You know what I'm saying? So we can,
Hey, I know you mentioned in the beginning, you mentioned the France, what that is, XPS France. So I know you say you tested on US30, XP 500, NAS 100. Do you use this on the France that you had mentioned as well?
Where's it at? Is it FR40? Yeah, French 40. It's right here. All right, so you know the France 40 is going to move just like the it's going to a little bit different, I guess. Yeah, but all it is just another indices. When you know, as far as you know points go, you know what I mean, it's the same. Certain parts of the day it's going to move faster. I guess because it's a different country, right? But it's going to move faster certain parts of the day. I'm still, I'm still testing it. I'm still working on it. You know what I'm saying? I haven't taken a live trade with this yet. Like I said, my man, he just put me on it. And, you know, guys, I don't know if you look at the stuff I be throwing in Telegram, and I trade everything, right? I trade Amazon. I trade it all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like stifled by nothing. So I just love it. I love trading. So it's one of the things.
GR30 is a good indice to trade in the morning.
You said what, love?
The German 30, GR30, it's a very fantastic indice for early morning.
Yeah.
So try GR30.
Where was I don't even know what I was doing with this. But yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Y'all ready to move on to Bitcoin?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I learned how to now my confidence came. All right, y'all, with Bitcoin, right? My confidence came with Crypto Picasso, right? So like I said, I had the elite package. I took I don't mess with Swipe Coin anymore, but I can't tell you I made over $1,000 with it, right? Just the app Swipe Coin. I took Crypto Picasso's signals. I didn't take anybody else's. I only took his. And you know, I had a lot of success with Bitcoin. With me and my partner, when we started over here, I was supposed to study Bitcoin. He was supposed to study US30. And at the time, right, the only educator I knew that was teaching on Bitcoin was, you think of Crypto Picasso, right? So that's the first person that I went to. And I just started taking the signals in demo, and then I couldn't resist it anymore. I started taking them live. It worked fantastic, man. They worked great. I didn't learn, however, how to trade Bitcoin with Crypto Picasso. I learned how to trade with Kimberly Torres. For Bitcoin, it's very simple. I don't use a cloud. Honestly, I don't care which way the trend is. I literally take, now this is real, this is kind of messy, right? This is like choppy, man. This is like all over the place. But no matter how big the zone is, and I'm going to show you this in a minute, even though I know it's going to look ridiculous, right? But it just is what it is. There's nothing that we can really do about it, right? I'll paint this big zone out. The zone will look like this, right? And I'll say, well, this is what I'll do, literally. And it just is what it is. If this thing is just thick, then it's just this thick. It is what it is. I'll take this zone, right? And I'll say, and I'll set an alert, literally, right here. And I'll set one down here. One thing I do kindred with this, like US30, I don't wait for a retest. I enter this trade when it break out and then close on the 15-minute. I mark it up on the 1 hour. If you look at Bitcoin, right, and you really look at it, you can see that it does these large, for whatever reason, man, it does do these large consolidating things, right? And where it will consolidate for days. And I'm not going to sit here and fight with the trade on if it wants to consolidate for 2 days or not. You know what I'm saying? It's not my concern. It's just I'm looking to catch it while it's in this consolidating state, and it's just kind of trapped. And I'm waiting for those breakouts, and then no matter what, I set 150 pip stop loss, and I'm taking it for at least 300 pips. Now we know these are not called pips, but we basically calculate them by the 100, right? So like dollars, right? So if this is 90, this is 95, 21, right? So we know that 95, we know that 96.21 is the 100. Let's call it 100 pips, just to make things make sense. I'm taking it for at least 300 once I get a breakout. I will find, like, let's say if I say, well, price is going to break out. Let's say it's going to break out right here at 89.74, right? So let's go 300. Let's go to that's 100. Wait, hold on. Did I get this wrong? Hold on. All right, so let's call that. Hold on. How are we gonna do this? Hold on. My math is off, y'all. See if it break out right. Let's make this make sense. Okay, so we'll be at 100 right here. Be at say my 300 neighborhood will be like right here. So let's say if my 300 neighborhood was about right at 93.74, right? Somewhere around there. I'm looking at, I'm looking at consolidation, right? I'm looking at consolidation right here. So I'm gonna take profit a little bit before then. It might give me like 250 pips, or what I'll do is I'll move my stop loss 50 pips into profit. Are you guys following me?
Yeah.
All right. So again, clean it up a little bit. I'm looking at it. I see it's consolidated. I got two touches. I got this fat zone. I'm setting alerts at the bottom and at the top for when they break and then close. I don't care which way it's gonna go. It can go bear, it can go bull. When they break and then close, I'm in the trade. Simple as that. If it's just too messy, like, you know, all of this that was going on, I mean, but if you look close, right, like you can even see it within there, you know, and this is kind of what I'm saying. It's like, this is the 1 hour time frame, guys, right? These are not, you know, if you manage your trades and put your stop loss 50 pips into profit, you know, a lot of these trades, man, would have really given you, I mean, it was a lot of trouble. Basically, what I'm saying, there's a lot of opportunity, you know, even in this. And that was messy. You know, ideal is something that looks more like this. This is more like ideal. You see this? It's a nice, tight consolidation, you know, so nice and tight. You know, you're waiting for those zones to be broken. You're waiting for these breakouts to happen. You actually did get a retest on this one, right? So you probably would have had a second entry. You see right there? And you had one. And that was the 1 hour. So you know it retested on the 15 minutes, right? I know it seems a little too simple, but I'm honestly, when you go and please, I urge you, when you watch Kimberly Torres, when she pulls up Bitcoin, if she's not, you know, because she gives a lot of trades, when she sits still and actually explain it to you, you know, it's very similar to how she trades. You know, she's a breakout trader, right? So I've been able to do really well, especially, you know, trailing these stop losses. I know on this strong push up here to 10.5, I caught a lot of that. I was in the trades for a long time. You know, everybody with me? Yeah, I got quiet. Hello?
Yeah, we here.
Yep, we're here.
All right, so listen, I think I see somebody out there trading Bitcoin. Any input, man, anything that you can add? I prefer you add to it. Let me know. You know, what do I not see? I don't use the fib, and I honestly, I know that Crypto Picasso, he loves this. He loves the fib. He throws the fib on Bitcoin a lot. I just don't do it. I just don't. But we can add. We can do something. If I'm missing something. Family? Okay.
I'm just taking it all in. This is something still new to me.
All right, King. Well, I mean, like I said, that was I guess I could just while you guys is just I guess I could just make a little bit more examples, and then just we can I could be done talking. But let's look at yeah, so gold, guys, we all trade gold. Gold last week gave me my first gold gave me my first $4,700 day. 64, I think it was 64 pips. So all this was right here. Last week.
Using the same strategy, the same concept with gold too.
Yes. Yep. Only reason you see a trend line is because I was you know, sometimes I'll get I'll you know, look, sometimes I get a little bit you know, I won't use the cloud. I'll just throw a trend line. For the most part, I know that when this thing was under my cloud on all 4 time frames, I knew that at that point I was with the trend. You know what I'm saying? Or the trend had just been changed. So that's the only reason why you see this little trend line right here. But yep, using the same strategy. I waited, gave me resistance. So this might have moved, but it was somewhere like right here when I had it. It was somewhere like this. And then this was what I wrote down. I mean, it don't look like much, but you know, it was almost 100. It was almost 100 pips, and I think I closed this thing out like $3,300. Yeah. Yep.
That's nice.
I use this, you know, use the same strategy. So I mean, you guys want to look at something? Let's talk. I mean, I'm done. I mean, that's really all I do. I know it. You know, it seemed.
If you don't mind pulling up gold and see if we can put it in demo.
Okay, we on gold. And you said you want to do what? So I'm gonna tell you why and what I would do with gold. Because I don't like the fact that it's trapped in the cloud. You know, I would need to see gold come out the cloud on a 15-minute and a 1 hour. So, and that's good. I'm glad this happened, because when I'm looking at it now, I know that a lot of times, man, these things are just pullbacks, especially on these lower time frames. I know that they're pullbacks. I know that they're, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, from previous training, when something is trapped in the cloud, you know, I need to see it push, you know, underneath it. I need to see all 3 of my time frames be either above it or underneath it, just to kind of give me that, you know, that clear mindset that, you know, and the confidence that it's not going to, you know, reverse on me. Because, and I believe Sean taught me this Ikimoku cloud will act like a support and resistance, right? So this thing will bounce off of the cloud and it will come back down. I'm not sure why it do it. I have seen it done several times, but I'm not trying to get, you know, involved in the trade and you know, I get this for, you know, 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Just trapped and can't break out of it. Which is, I mean, it's fine, but I don't want to be in a trade. You know, I want to see it consolidating because I know that I got a breakout coming, right? But I don't want to be trapped in it, scared to death every time it bounces around, right? So this is what I'm waiting for. Now, I don't have no long engulfing candles pushing through like this, push through this here, right? I don't have any of that. But which is cool is this. I know that I'm underneath the cloud on 2 time frames, right? And go here. And you know what? Another thing, guys, and this helped me when I was new. If you ever have trouble, right, finding like where support and resistance might be, you can just switch to a line graph. You know, they clean things up for you a little bit and make things make a little bit more sense. They do take a lot of those wick values into consideration a little bit more, but you'll be able to see what's going on just a little bit better. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, guys, I mean, if there's nothing else, I guess I guess I could turn it back over to the boss, Brother James.
No, you doing great, man. It's all you. I really appreciate it. I definitely have a much better understanding of the US30 and you know, knowing how to mentally handle looking at Bitcoin and the other ones too. And so I think that's all I really needed is just kind of, you know, just a little bit of guidance into it so I could kind of be like, okay, I know how to attack this. But I definitely going to be checking out Kimberly Torres and kind of and Picasso and looking deep into studying them for at least a couple more months before I mess with it myself. But I really love, you know, all the input. Oscar, thanks a lot, bro. We appreciate that too. That's definitely great insight. That's what this is all about is community, man. It's not that one person knows everything. I like when we collaborate and get all this information so we all can win. That's the real goal of these calls, ladies and gentlemen, is to just get our minds together and just let everybody kind of share their pieces of the puzzle. So Oscar, definitely, you know what I'm saying? I know sometimes like me, I put input on other people's calls and you feel like maybe you're stepping on toes, but that's not how we do it over here in Team Wealth Builders, man. We just take these as building blocks and build on top of it. So we can get to the other side of money because I want everybody to win. And that helps I Am Master Academy as a whole. If people are truly making money in their broker accounts and they're trying to wrap their head around these pairs, then more people will be attracted to the platform. And so I'm very thankful for each and everybody being on the call. And Fibonacci Flips, man, you knocked it out the park again, brother. Definitely loving it. And his beautiful wife, Sierra, she's no joke either. She is a trading monster herself. So ladies, trust me, we got some really hard-hitting people here on the team. And I'm just thankful that you guys, especially you took time out to, you know, just share what you do on your charts. I know I'll be playing this a few times. This will probably be one of the hottest videos I'll be watching over and over again for a while.
Oh, man. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, King. That's what's up. Like I said, man, I'm glad I could just add a little bit of value. Hey, Oscar, man, I don't know exactly. I don't think we've formally been introduced, man, but I would like to try to find you somehow. Maybe you can, you know, maybe when you're doing your training, just let me know, man. So, you know, we can really get sharper. I would like to be more efficient with this Fibonacci tool. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of us have a lot of questions, man, as far as, you know, placement and, you know, why place it there and stuff like that, man. If you're really good with it, I would like to see that class. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely, sir. I mean, anytime you want to grace our presence, or if you want to, you know, shoot, do your own thing. You know how we do. I'm always open to somebody doing something else other than on a Monday night, as long as other people are willing to want to jump on. You know, something consistent. So definitely help. So here's what I like to ask, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that got on the call. Again, thank you so much for being on. If you can, you know, get into your Telegram, put some on Facebook, put on here, you know, especially the team app. If you started from the team app, you know, if you guys can write just something that said, hey, Najee Fibonacci Flips or Najee Harris did an awesome job with this. This is what I learned, and you know, stuff like that. And that would really, really be encouragement right there, because you know, guys, he's not a professional educator, but he's looking to aspire to be, and this is where it all starts from just doing Zooms and getting some success stories and helping people out. And the more that you say, you know, what you get, the more people will want to, you know, come and see what we're talking about. So that's it. If you can add that little
I need to go
testimony.
back this way, Donna.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Hey, hello.
Yeah.
Hey, what the recordings? How are you gonna post that on YouTube or in the group?
Yeah, we're gonna do a YouTube video on that. And how did you hear about the call?
I was invited.
Okay, cool. Who invited you on?
Shonda.
Okay, okay, not a problem. So I don't know if she got in the team app or anything like that. Let me put an email in the chat. You guys can email me and just send me, and we'll get a copy of that. Make sure I send a copy to you so you can get it out. So yeah, Fibonacci Flips. You got anything else you want to share? Any other more tips, hacks, and stuff like that? I see you marking up the charts, all that.
Oh yeah, nah, man. I guess I can give it back to you. I'm sorry. I forgot that I was
Tell me more about the Bloomberg part. I mean, does Kimberly Torres kind of break down what to look for in Bloomberg as far as what affects these pairs?
Yeah, yep. And she does, man, in ways, Sean, that I can't really reciprocate because I'm gonna tell you, when that's pretty much my wife can't trade without Bloomberg, right? It is, man, when you trade in these indices, man, you trade in these stocks, you really need to know which direction that they're gearing up to go in. I mean, it's simple. We come up here, we say, all right, well, we're looking at Dow Jones. We see that if it's blue, we're up, right? I mean, they have them all. I don't know why. But what I do is I go through. I look for S&P 500. I know you can see it coming through right here. I look for S&P. And I'm looking for the Dow most of the time. That's kind of what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? I'm making sure that I'm not going against what Bloomberg is telling me. And that's pretty much all I'm doing. I'm coming over here to let me see if I can find. I'm usually doing this from my phone so that everything looks a little bit different. Yeah, I'm usually doing this from my phone, so things look a little different on your phone when you're doing this on an app. But and man, just I encourage everyone to just come with this app. Not this app. Come on Bloomberg, play with it, and I took some time away from social media. So what I'll do is I'll come up here, I'll go through, and I'll look for certain things, that might be mentioned in US30 or the Nas. Like I said, I can't really navigate on this thing too much because it'll take me a little bit of time to but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And you want to see here we go. You want to see I don't know why I did. You want to look for when you're reading, you want to see stuff like you're looking for keywords basically. And she breaks this down. You're looking for words that say crisis today in this whatever. You're looking for you see things like crisis, you see things like suffering, or you're looking for shorts, right? You see stuff like the United States has just broken a new record and is doing phenomenal with this area. You're looking for longs, and you just kind of keep those things in mind. You know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily, they're not the ultimate defining, but bad news and good news have a different impact, and we know that on the market, period, right? So we're looking at United States 30, And they're saying, and you got big, big voices on Bloomberg saying that it's suffering. We know we're selling something. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to go and I'm buying something, right? So because you know what I'm saying, it's just how it go. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really I hope I'm making sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing I've noticed, like if you pay attention to news that, for specific companies part of the Dow Jones, you'll also see some fluctuations in the market based on that, like Boeing News, when when they started grounding all those aircrafts, that had a huge impact on the Dow. So if you start just listening to those companies that are part of the index, you'll also see some things happening.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, guys, I'm glad y'all, man, everybody who shared, thank you for adding value, man. I love you all. Sean, thanks for having me again, King. Anytime I can help, just let me know. I'll be posting my results. I took off a work this week. So me and my wife, we're going to be trading. Every day, our trading days is from Tuesdays to Saturday. We trade Bitcoin on the weekend. So we'll be pulling some long days. We got some big percentages in mind. So if you up, hit me. We're going to be trading. We're going to be here.
Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much again. We appreciate you being on for this nice lengthy class. I knew it was going to be worth it. And again, we're going to post this on YouTube under Team Wealth Builder channel. And I'll make sure that I put it in our team app. I'm going to put a copy in the team app. I'm going to put a copy in our Telegram, and I may even put it on Facebook. So just look for Najee Harris, look for Fibonacci Flips. You just type that in to the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find him. He's got another video out where he did an awesome training too. And so again, we appreciate that. And if you guys can, give him some love, give him some appreciation, unmute, say thank you, all that, because this was his time. It's not like he's getting paid for this.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
brother.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.